Today we bring you
Reconstructing Spirit Hill.
What we're doing here is a repair to our front porch. As you can see at the far left side, I installed a jack, and then I used a car jack here to actually jack up to get two posts out at once so I could replace the 1x8 across the top as well as the rotted posts. I'm going to show you here in just a second why that's a bad idea and why I built this temporary wall, and give you a little bit of insight as to what's going on here. So those are my porch posts. They are obviously just rotted away. There's really not anything there that's holding that thing up. So obviously that in and of itself is dangerous. We've probably got most of our weight just on a few of the posts. So what we're working on here is trying to get these posts out, get new posts in, and find any other rot or damage, which is exactly what we found and exactly why just using standard jacks is not the way to handle this project. Now I had used this car jack here and I put a 6x6 on it and had jacked it up and pushed the ceiling up with it. It turned out to be a bad idea. I lifted it up fine, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of people do that on YouTube, but it is fairly unsafe, especially if you're dealing with an old porch that may have other rot issues or structural issues that could easily fall down and the whole roof could collapse on you. So I'm going to show you a little more about why we can't just try and jack this thing up and replace the posts in just a second. This is the other jack I use. This is the first jack I put underneath the porch. There's still a lot of pressure on that corner. I'm not going to move that jack. It's a pretty sturdy jack. I like that jack a lot better than some of the floor jacks that you get. It's got a tripod at the bottom. I mean, it's built to lift some pretty heavy things. So I'm going to leave that in place as I work. Just gives me a little bit of extra comfort knowing that that's under there. At some point, once we get some more posts and some things fixed under here, we'll probably remove that so we can go ahead and check this beam over here. What I found when I jacked this thing up and pulled the post out is that this box beam here is actually rotted apart in about a 4-foot section. That really is going to affect the integrity of this entire porch, which is why I don't want to have this thing up on jacks. It's probably been pulling away from the side of the house for some time. I'm going to try and work on this in the most stable environment as I possibly can and remove the rotted wood and fix it with probably by using some true cut timber like what's in here. But I'll show you how I do that in another video. Right now I'm just showing you how we jack this thing up and stabilize it. So what I've done here is I have built a wall. The top plate has two 2x4s. The third 2x4 is going across there. Those were already nailed together. I found them around our construction site, and it worked perfectly because I wanted double top and double bottom. I used 4x4s to support the ceiling joists, and I obviously went a little overboard with just making sure that that's not going to wiggle anywhere, but I want to make sure that I'm safe. And right now we at least have this section somewhat secure from falling on us. It'll hold those ceiling joists up, but if something starts to crack real bad, I'm still going to run out of the way. But this gives me a little bit more ability to work on this rotted section, knowing that hopefully the ceiling's not going to fall on me. So there you have it. There's my temporary support for the porch. I'm going to run it by a few people before I start working on the porch, because I want to make sure that that's going to be as safe as I'm hoping it is. And then I can really tear into this thing and get rid of some of these rotted areas. It looks as though the leak was right about here. It kind of leaked in and sat on this bottom piece. But the top board of the top board of my box isn't rotted, so I'm hoping I could just replace the rotted pieces, splice everything in, and make this thing structurally sound again.